Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because professional pornographers don't tend to call it, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Carl. Look at you nodding like you caught me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't it?
Occasional groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Carl, that they could have had a Braille porno. Now, have you thought of that?
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Carl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Carl.
Yeah, the cheese grate has only entered the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
104.9 XFM, hello. I'm Carl. Ricky Gervais and Steve aren't here. So we're playing through some of the best bits. I say the best bits. It's the bits I came across first. I mean, I'm not wasting my time. I'm a busy man, you know what I mean? So, here's another bit.
What do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It says,
isn't it just choosing the, eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough. Alright?
Didn't fancy her.
Oh, God, no. Right, but she had a baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. What was she?
It was a very...
like a bit of a man in a dress.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What does she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Look like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did they get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right?
Oh, that's great. Did Big Jake come looking for it?
I'd been out.
Oh. So let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then, but keep it out of the kitchen.
I don't want you going cattling rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well.
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right, so...
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
so I was like in the car with my dad, coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport, yeah.
And, the horse was in the lounge.
Reading a paper?
Just like walking around.
Oh, God! What?
And when I was doing it, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is
And I went-
genius. It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this.
Wait a
'cause
minute,
the story's
wait a
gonna
minute.
just unravel and unravel. It's
Yeah,
gonna go on
yeah.
for hours. Let's
It
play a
gets
track,
deeper
Carl.
and deeper. It's like
come
an
on, Carl.
onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the
I
lounge.
mean, I come from the West Country.
I
I've never
just-
heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and it's got a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the
God.
classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
From that classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto
Genetically modified babies, but
and then
somehow
Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently. I don't know if that's
you don't need
relevant.
to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is, like, make a picture for you so you understand.
What did she look like? Who did she look like?
Bit of a... And no disrespect to her. Bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to it.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her
No,
husband?
a daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse,
Yeah, from, I don't know where, there was I think there was some stables down the road or something.
and they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
But
they
didn't
get
have it
caught?
for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in there.
what happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
a
a good money
charity
making
eater.
idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah, they
soil?
wouldn't have survived.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, oh, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause it's a bit rough. So as I went
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
So I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet,
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
and,
Yeah.
and the horse was walking around the living room.
Oh.
I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and a telly and that?
Telling you that!
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London. the
Commodore
other day.
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I hope she looks after it." I said, that dog is happier than most dogs.
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open. It's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat though. They're always all right. So that's what I was saying. I think this horse was doing all right for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
Well, anyway, that's what
by
we were
the
talking
by.
about. Yeah. So anyway, this family, who's a bit. What we were talking about? It was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids and all that stuff, yeah.
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So,
Come on, work with him.
so you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever,
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
and get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things,
Yep.
right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm a
that,
good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right? So then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat. You know, he gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family...
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
Right, this family who had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, "You're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby," right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The weird
Did it catch stick?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy...
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Life. Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
Oh, you're always right, Carl.
Now, Carl, I know you're fascinated by the concept of the doppelganger, of seeing someone who looks exactly like you. Jake has emailed in, he says, Carl, if you could spend a day with an exact replica of you, okay, so somehow they've cloned you, Carl, and you've got him for one day, what would you do with this? What would you make him do? What conversation would you have with him? What would you do? Is there anything you could, how would you utilise him for one day?
Well, they'd both say, I'm not bothered, and that'd be the end of conversation.
What would do me head in is, does he think the same way, look the same way,
Exactly the
dresses?
same.
Yeah.
How would I know which one I was?
Because you'd be you.
That's amazing.
No, no,
How would I know which
That's
one I was?
incredible.
No, because-
that is the most stupid thing ever said by a human being. Can we get the Guinness Book of Records on this? Has anyone anywhere in the world said anything more stupid than how would I know which one was me?
But think about it, this other person's going, alright, thanks for meeting up and that. And I go, hang on a minute. No, you came to me. And then Suzanne would come home and she wouldn't know the difference. And then suddenly you'd start doubting yourself. And you go, should I be leaving? Or... So, how do I know if I am that real one, if he knows what I know?
But you know who you are because you're experiencing
But he'd
it.
be saying that because he'd say, yeah, it is a bit weird,
But
isn't
you
it,
know
Owen,
the truth, you idiot.
Because
How
you
would I
wouldn't-
know which one I was?
So anyway,
But bear in mind,
What would you do?
You could pass him off as yourself.
What would you do? Would you play tricks with... Would you,
You could be in two places at once.
Would you do stings? Would you do scams?
no, because it would only end up getting me into trouble, won't it? Because people won't believe that there's another one like me. Otherwise, everyone would be saying that when they get caught robbing. They go, oh, it wasn't me, it was me doppelganger. It can only... I wouldn't want it, to be honest. It's a bit of a headache, isn't it? Because he could be going off, going mental, causing all sorts of trouble, and you're going, will you pack it in? And he's going, what? What are you on about? But then that wouldn't happen, would it? Because he's being me, so he'd be sat wherever I am anyway. Because he'd want to do what I want to do. So, pointless. But I still wouldn't want it.
It's unbelievable.
That was a conversation with himself.
That was amazing.
That was like experiencing what it would have been like if there was two Carls.
Yeah,
He's having a discussion with himself.
We could have left in that time and come back, and he'd be arguing still.
What does this mean? Does this mean... Does this mean, though, that I could just sit at home and not do anything and just send me out on...
Yes.
And when he's seen something happen, I'm seeing it.
No.
You're separate people.
You're separate people.
But then he's not a doppelganger then,
Well,
is he?
you're identical twins then. You found out identical twins and he's got exactly the same input as you. I mean, it's not a real question, is it? It's just a little... Again...
But I said to you the other week about twins and that, how I wouldn't like to have a twin. It's alright when you're a kid, but unless you're a Siamese twin, even they don't even look alike, do they? They're just stuck together. You don't go, oh, don't they look like each other? They have different haircuts. They don't carry that thing on, do they? That normal twins do. Like normal twins, the mums say have the same haircut, wear the same shirt. Siamese twins never look the same. They've just got their arse stuck together.
Again, it's a dialogue in his own head. It's unbelievable. Okay, Carl. This is a logical conundrum. to a certain extent. There's a little bit of lateral thinking because, but there is only one right answer. Now, the pressure here isn't to get this right. The pressure is when I've told you the answer to then understand it. Because when I've explained this to people, I've laid out for them, they still can't quite get the concept. Okay, so there's 2 doors, Carl.
Yeah.
One leads to heaven, one leads to hell.
Yeah.
Okay, they're identical. You can't tell them apart. Okay, 50-50.
Right.
Obviously, you want to go to heaven, I assume. Right, there's 2 guards, identical guards, guarding each door. Okay?
Right.
The one guarding hell always tells a lie. The one guarding heaven always tells the truth. You have to ask one question to find out which is which, and then go through the door you want. What question do you ask?
I've only got one.
Yeah.
And what, one to both?
No, one to either of them. You don't know which one's which, though. So what question do you ask?
Why can't I ask, like, both of them one?
Because it's
Because
not
the rules are you can only ask one. There aren't actually 2 doors labelled heaven and hell, Carl. This is a leap of imagination here.
And I've definitely got to answer. I've got to ask them a question. I can't just sort of have a feel of the door to see if there's any heat or anything.
They're identical. You stand a few yards away. You cannot tell from the outside of these doors which is which. What question do you ask?
I can't look through the keyhole or anything.
There's no
Don't get anywhere
keyhole.
near them. Let's imagine there's a small rope that prevents you from getting anywhere near, rather like outside a nightclub.
Yeah.
So they stood there.
Yeah.
They both look the same. They're both smiling,
Yeah.
but one of them's not really smiling. Really, he's trying to make me make a mistake, isn't he?
Well, he's just going to lie when you ask him a question. If you ask him.
So what's the point in asking a question? Do I know one of them's going to lie?
Yeah.
But would they be neighbours like this? Would they be that close? Why?
I mean, we're not sure if these 2 guys get on.
Okay, it's a logical. Well, I'll tell you the answer.
No, I want to see if he can get it. He's almost there. No, he's not almost there. What am I thinking?
So-
No, hang on. Right, so you go up and you
Yeah.
go. You
Right,
go,
hang on. Well, look, let's imagine that. Let's imagine Ricky and I are those 2 guys. Okay, right?
But we have to. Well, me and Steve will decide which doors we're guarding. Okay.
Right.
I'm.
Look away, Carl.
Okay.
Right,
then.
so we've decided. Okay, one of us is guarding hell and one of us is guarding heaven. Which question you're going to ask and who you're going to ask it to?
Right. I'll just say to you, Steve. I'll go. Got some post for God here.
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Right, you've got some posts for God here.
Well, that's not a question.
Yeah, but maybe the
Alright.
question's coming. You got some posts for God here, yeah.
And it needs to be signed.
It's not a question. Still not a question.
No, let
So
him finish. Maybe
is
it's a
God in? Because I need him to sign for this post. Is he in?
Well, I can answer that as well if you want.
Go on.
He's in. He's behind my door. Do you want to answer it?
Well,
Yes,
Do you,
he's
want,
in.
do you want to get him? Just
Well, no, you've only got one question.
So you're asking Steve, is God in? What's the answer?
Yes.
Ask me. Yes.
look, lads. I'm just trying to do a job here. What am I going to do with this?
Well, give it to me and I'll give it to God because he's behind my door. Steve?
Yeah, give it to me and I'll take it into God because he's behind my door.
You're an idiot. Let me tell you the answer. I'm guarding hell, by the way. I'm the devil. Steve's God, okay? So you asked me what Steve would say if you asked him what door he was guarding, and I'm going to lie. I know he'd say heaven because he'd tell the truth, but I'm lying, so he'd say hell. So the question is, if I was to ask the other one what door he was guarding, what would he say? And whatever the person answers is the door they're guarding.
Steve, what door are you looking after?
Well,
Heaven.
yeah.
Why should I believe you?
Because you don't know. No, that doesn't work. Because you asked me the same and I'd say heaven as well.
Right, so who do I believe? This is where you use your gut feeling, though, isn't it? This is what life's...
Well, as opposed to the pure logic that Ricky's just used.
I just think because there's a lot of questions in life where you don't know the answer and you go, do you know what? I don't like the look of him. So,
They're identical.
yeah, but they're still identical twins. You always get a little snidey one.
Well, Rick, you're not the only one who's been away. I know you've been off working, but
Yeah.
I, at long last, have taken a bit of leisure time.
Go on.
And you've probably heard of the Rio de Janeiro Carnival. Only one of the hottest, events in the world calendar.
yeah.
Imagine me down there.
Oh,
Rio,
God.
you can imagine, did not know what hit it.
Oh, God almighty. Were you like Paul the Party Animal Parker?
He would not have been able to keep up if he was with me.
God, what did you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, let me tell you right now. Day 1, I almost drowned. Day 2, I got a foot infection and spent the day in the hospital. And the rest of the time, I had diarrhea. So that was a hell of a time.
Carnival.
Yeah. I did. I was able to watch some of the carnival on TV,
Oh,
and it
right.
looked brilliant. It looked
Did it?
amazing. I didn't actually. It was difficult to make out because the TV wasn't actually in my room. Because in an effort to save money, I wasn't staying in a hotel. I was staying with a bunch of other people in some kind of, like, someone's flat that they'd let out. And so I had to watch the TV, like, from my window, watching a neighbour's TV. And of course, when they change the channel, often during the juicy bits, I couldn't see anything. And but it looked really good. I'm bunged up at the moment just so I can get through the show. But I've just been on a 12-hour flight, and it is terrifying being on a flight when you know that any moment you could go. Because you know how the problem is sometimes the toilet's free and sometimes you've got to queue up. And the worst bit is that sort of half an hour just before you land when they say the toilets are out of bounds now. I'd say I went twice before that in quick succession. The woman sat next to the toilet. She didn't know what was going on, the noises and stuff in there, and because I was really panicky.
Oh, Christ.
And so of course then on the whole flight, as we're landing, I'm really petrified because I'm thinking I packed a pair of underpants and jeans in the bag in the holdall. Just in case it all went. And I was really, because I hate flying anyway, and I hate landing because it's the most terrifying moment of the journey. Then it really was rumbling, and I was thinking, I got to get out of here. Of course, you know when you're in a hurry, everything makes you angry. The little old lady in front of me who's just hobbling along off the gangplank. Go away!
Yeah.
Just really annoying.
With your bad hips and your bad
and
legs.
your Zimmer frame.
I know you've been through a war, but get out of my way.
Yeah. And just anyone who kind of even passes you, and so I managed to get there just in time, got into and it all went off. Man alive, it was grim. I was walking away from the show last week. I was walking towards Berry Street, like to look at the records and that, record shops. And I was on my mobile phone, and I was chatting away to someone, and what can only be described as a prostitute.
Go on.
Stood on the street corner.
Was she a woman that gives you sex for money?
Yes.
That is a prostitute.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Go on.
And as I was walking by, she said, "Do you want to buy sex?" No,
You sure it wasn't a market trader giving 6 plums or
No, it was
something?
definitely
6 for a quid?
No, it was definitely
Go
a
on.
prostitute.
Yeah.
And what annoyed me about it, what I wanted to pick her up on something, was the fact that I was on my mobile phone. It's like, can you imagine?
rude.
Who would what, am I going to hang up? Sorry, Mum, can I call you back?
I've
You
just had an
know
offer.
you say you want me to meet more women.
And you know you sent me that 30 quid
Exactly.
for my birthday?
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Johnson, I'm really excited about the job. Can I call you back? I'm just going to negotiate with a whore. And it was just sort of, you could tell that she was clearly probably desperate for crack or a latest fix of smack. So she was literally the normal etiquette of prostitution. That they hang around, they show some thigh. I've seen this in
They
films.
will ya.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Take you out for a meal.
I
That sort of
know,
thing.
it's
That had
quite
sort of gone out of the window, and she
Yeah,
was just
sure.
there, desperate, running around.
Did
the
she go out of a
streets.
window?
Like a
Because that's another thing they sometimes do, specialist
Exactly.
ones.
But I was
Yeah.
shocked because I've never been propositioned before like that
Really?
in London.
It's weird, isn't it? Carl, thoughts?
I think you'd be sort of approached a lot because they tend to sort of go for people who look like they haven't got much chance.
Sure.
And I'm not being mean.
No,
you know,
no,
you know,
no, no,
I've known
no,
you a long time.
Sorry, I'll let you go back to it. In what way aren't you being mean? By saying that
No,
Steve...
Steve knows is a little bit odd looking.
I don't think... Well...
No, he does. Do you know
Yeah,
before...
no, but it's not what he thinks of his looks.
No.
It's what he thinks of you talking about his looks on...
No, but it's
on.
like how you were talking before about, your eyes are bad. It's nature's little way of saying, look, nothing to see here, right?
I don't get that!
I don't know what you mean.
But when you look in the mirror and that, they've gone, look, he hasn't got the looks, let's make his eyes bad, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying,
See,
they're
I-
balancing it out, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny, right? Now we're on the topic.
Sorry,
I wasn't-
Johnny Depp.
Hey, listen,
I'm gonna... My chest is gonna burst at this moment.
Whenever we go
because
into this conversation, I always think to myself, Carl, do you know what you look like?
I'm gonna.
You know, seriously, can I be honest with you? You look like, you know, if you've got like a balloon, a hot air balloon, right? Just a little balloon, like a party balloon. If you drew a little face on it, right, and inflated it about halfway, that's what you look like.
Right.
No, play a record. I don't want to get into this. It's too intense.
Now you've got onto this. Let's just nip it in the bud now. I'll tell you something that I wasn't going to tell you because I think
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Right, it was on the tube. Right. Well, someone told me they were on the tube. Right. And the tube pulled into a station. Right. And one of the women saw the poster that's out at the moment with you and Rick on it. Right.
Yeah.
So this woman apparently goes, "Oh look, there's Ricky. Ricky's on the radio." Right. And the other woman goes, "Oh yeah, don't you listen to it?" So she goes, "Oh, I didn't know it was on the radio." And she goes, "Oh, look at."
Because he didn't sound this bad. Right?
She said, "Oh, look at that person he's with." So she goes, "Yeah." She said, "That's Steve." She said, I was sort of aware that he looked odd because Carl mentions it on the radio.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as much of a blow to me, but I can see how it was a bit of a shock to you.
Yeah.
So that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that isn't me sort of telling this woman to say anything. That was all happened without anybody else sort of bringing it on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Was it? Sorry, you seem to be relishing this. Was it because of the little balloon story that made you?
I honestly, Steve, I wouldn't have told you, but if you're going to start, having a pop,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't just sit here and take it and that.
No.
I mean, all mates.
Yeah. Just,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was
Shame,
mistaken for Johnny
yeah.
Vegas. Steve's got a story about that, if you want to have a go at me.
well, someone just thought you were fat with a beard, which is true.
Well, don't have a go at me because he said you look.
Well, you started it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I didn't.
You were milking it. You were
I
egging
was,
him
I
on.
was laughing.
You were egging him on.
I sort of was.
Yeah.
But let's not,
Oh, it's a good job you've got lots of good mates like Jonathan Ross you can go and hang out with. Don't need other friends, people who've helped you in your career.
He's good looking bloke, isn't he, Jonathan Ross?
He's a good-looking fella.
Out of time by Blur. Luckily, we're not out of time. Got another hour and 25 to go. So it's not over yet on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
We've had quite a lot of emails, as ever, Rick. I should just say, because we're very
It's a
lazy.
much listened to show.
We're very lazy people, and we rarely reply or read out the emails, but we do
I never read the emails.
Absolutely
so
never read
I
them.
rely, if I haven't replied to them, or my mail, well, Steve opens my mail and reads my emails. So if I haven't replied, it's just because he hasn't passed it on to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't passed it on to you because I know you'll never reply.
Sure.
So, I'm just cutting out that. But just want to say thanks for the emails. We do read some of them, and we do appreciate the fact people send in jokes. Just
I appreciate it. I love it.
But we've
Not
had
to do anything towards it.
sure, we had an email from Jack. He just said he missed the last 2 weeks' shows. Has he missed anything?
Not really.
No.
No, it's the same stuff.
Same
You missed,
old
I think last week Carl was having a go at Chinese people not aging well. He had a go at the gays, and he came up with a ludicrous story about a monkey that was impossible. So I don't think Jack's missed much. Go on.
No. We've just had an email from the Pringles people.
Oh, right. Good, because it's finally started to happen. I hear these stories about people getting given cars and Armani suits and trips abroad, and we haven't had enough, but finally, people are starting to, realise what we're doing, our impact on society,
Yeah.
and we've got a whole box of Pringles sent to us. Not one of those little tubes, the proper tubes, the foot-long tubes.
Yeah.
So, and well, what have they said?
Well, the Pringles
They
guys
want
have
them
said-
back.
No, they've said they like the show, and if you want more Pringles, give them a call and they'll
I
send you
want
more
more
Pringles.
Pringles.
Yeah.
I bloody love Pringles.
Yeah.
Pringles are. The thing about Pringles is, they're Moorish, right?
Yeah.
But how would I put it? You know the sort of thing when I open them.
Yeah.
And by that when I pop.
Right.
Yeah. I have to eat. Well, no, okay. How can I put this? When I pop, I can't stop.
What do you mean? I don't...
Well, when I pop them open, I can't stop eating them open.
Right, when you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's because of the chemicals. I think that might be the reason.
But they're good chemicals.
They're good chemicals. They're the best chemicals.
Pringle chemicals.
They're not bad chemicals. Like
Lovely.
you're using chemical
So
warfare.
yes, I want some more Pringles.
Yeah,
What
so
else do
more
they do?
Pringles. It's interesting actually you were saying that like other people, like Kylie I imagine would get given sort of maybe sexy underwear. You got Robbie Williams where he gets the Armani suits. You get sent the crisps.
Yeah.
Which seems appropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but it's nice to be sent.
I
Go on.
talking of Pringles, on the Finchley Road tube station, early on the way in.
There's a lot of Pringles there, isn't there?
Well, I'll tell you a job I don't like.
What?
I wouldn't want to be doing. The woman, there's a little woman who sits in the little snack stall on Finchley Road station.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to describe it really. She is surrounded by snacks. She can't move for snacks. It's
Does it look like American Beauty, but with different...
not dissimilar to that. It's a little hut on the station, and it's like if you go to the seaside, you can put your head through one of those cardboard cutouts, and it looks like you're a big fat person or whatever, and you can have your photo taken. It's like an equivalent of that, but it's just snacks everywhere. She's got bananas up to her chin. She's got chocolate coming down to her eyes, crisps either side of her. She can't move. She can't do 360 degrees. She's like packed in there. I don't know how she gets in there.
I think they put her in there first, and pour in the bananas.
Yeah.
And then they go pour in the nuts.
She has 2 hours of makeup before they
exactly,
dressing her in there. Because I'll ask for something from the fridge, and she cannot turn her head to see. She has to go by feel alone, just to feel the fridge, and get stuff out and pass it. And often I'll say, that's not what I wanted, but she can't. You've got to let her off. It's extraordinary.
Dear.
But there's no music playing,
Does she have to sell her way out of it?
Exactly.
If it's a slow day, she's stuck there till the next day.
Yeah, it's like a world-breaking attempt.
Yeah. Oh dear. That's Finchley Road, so if you
if you're on Finchley Road or just want to pop down there, have a look at the snack woman, because it is, it's
how does she
amazing.
get refills, though?
I don't know how it works. I don't know how she goes to the toilet or eats. I don't know what she does.
Yeah.
But God bless her.
So that's one of the jobs you wouldn't
That's
have.
jobs I would not like.
I've always worried about working in one of those big photocopying places.
Sure.
Because it's just that constant taste of toner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so dry, and I just imagine going to work with a hangover.
Yeah.
8 hours in that sort of
I think it's those jobs where, what's the best that can happen? That day, do you know what I mean? The photocopying shop, what's the best?
Well, they probably have interesting things, like people going and photocopying.
Porno mags.
Can I have 30 copies of my art?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't make it to the staff party.
Yeah,
But I wonder if I could do that in here.
Yeah.
Carl, what job wouldn't you want to do? Well, any job, you're a lazy...
You're joking, aren't you?
But-
I've done loads of stuff. I'm quite happy now doing what I'm doing.
Yeah? You look happy.
Trying to think.
You sound happy.
Yeah, I mean, calm down. You on drugs?
I'm alright.
Are you on E?
Before England have won and that. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, go on, happy for them.
I'm happy in that.
Yeah, what do you mean happy for them? We are England. Happy for us. Yeah. I mean, we didn't play. I did very little towards it.
No.
It was mainly Johnny Wilkinson.
Yeah, I barely contributed. Switching on the TV was about as much as I did.
Exactly. And shouting, come on!
Yeah.